Dear students, this part is about coordinating conjunctions. A coordinating conjunction is a word that joins two elements of equal grammatical rank and syntactic importance. So, coordinating conjunctions can join two verbs, two nouns, two adjectives, two phrases, or two independent clauses. So if you look at the function of coordinating conjunctions, it's joining. They can join words, they can join phrases, and also they can join clauses. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions in English. They are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. We have 2 sentences here. I like to play tennis. I like to play football. I would ask us to join both sentences using the coordinating conjunction. So if you look at both the sentences are similar. At the first subject, I like to play and I like to play. So it's the same person that's being referring to in both sentences. I like to play tennis and football. So we could put the first sentence as it is, and for joining, we'll just eliminate this full stop, and instead of writing I like to play, I will delete this part. So here after at the place of full stop we'll put and football. So the sentence would become I like to play tennis, and then we coordinating conjunction and then football. I like to play tennis and football. So in this way we can also shorten the length of the 2 different sentences and put them together in one sentence. So another pair of sentences. I like to go swimming. I hate to play baseball. If you look at the relationship of both sentences, it's the opposite. In the first sentence, like to go, person likes to do something. In the second sentence, he dislikes to do something. So this kind of, when we have sentences where there's a contrast or opposite relationship between the sentences, these kind of sentences can be joined using but. I like to go swimming, but hate to play football. There is a famous acronym used for coordinating conjunctions, fanboys. F stands for, A for and for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. If we look at the functions of coordinating conjunctions as we discussed earlier, is coordinating, joining the sentences. So how do we do it? We have to read both the sentences and we try to know what kind of relationship is there in both the sentences. The sentences that are on your screen are similar to the examples that we have discussed before. Favorite, favorite, his favorite, his favorite. So we could shorten these sentences, combine them by writing his favorite snacks are cakes and biscuits. So when we have the same sentences that are similar or equal, and there is no contrast between 2 sentences, these kind of sentences can be joined with and. Now consider this example. I eat cake. I never eat biscuits. So now there's a contrast, and we discussed this thing earlier, that these kind of sentences could be joined using but, because there's a contrast. First part, the person likes to eat something. In the second sentence, the person doesn't like to eat something. So I eat cake, but I never eat biscuits. So why do we use but? After reading the sentences, when we figured out that the relationship between both the sentences is contrary and opposite, so we could use but to connect these sentences. So if you see here, we have 2 independent sentences. I eat a cake full stop, and then second sentence. But after we join, we get one long sentence. Now we don't have 2. because we join both the sentences. And here you can also see that there's a comma between but and cake. So when we put a coordinating conjunction for joining two independent clauses, in that case we put a comma before coordinating conjunction. For is a coordinating conjunction that is used for explaining why something happened. If you look at the example, we have got two sentences here. He's overweight, he eats too many cakes and biscuits. The second part of the sentence is explaining why. So why is he overweight? Because he eats a lot of cakes and biscuits. So for describing the reason, we could put for before it. So what comes after is the reason and explains that why something happens. So now see these two sentences and try to know the relationship between both. Now, both the sentences have nots, negative. He doesn't, he doesn't. So when we have two negatives in both the sentences, those sentences could also be joined. But how? Using the word nor. He doesn't eat cake, comma. After that nor does he eat biscuits. So why don't we use and here? And is used if both the sentences are positive. If there is no not in both the sentences, but if the both sentences contain not, in that case, these would be joined using nor. Now let's analyze another pair of sentences. Would you like cake? Would you like biscuits? So what kind of relationship is there between both the sentences? These kind of sentences offer you the choice. So the sentences that offer you the choice, they could be joined using the coordinating conjunction, or like we joined these two sentences and got a new sentence. Would you like cake or biscuits? So what did we do? We just joined them using the coordinating conjunction, or used or because of there was a choice in both sentences, and the choice sentences could be joined by using or, and at the same time, just to avoid a repetition, we deleted would you like, because it's the same person to whom something is asked, so we don't need to repeat this phrase, would you like. Is used, so or is used before an alternative. Now have a look at this pair of sentences. The weather was cold. The weather was bright and sunny. Again, there's a contrast, but this type of contrast is different from the contrast that we discussed before. How is it different? If you see here, it says in spite of the weather is cold, but still it is bright and sunny. So these kind of sentences can be joined with yet. When, when there is a contrast of this particular kind, where we could use the words in spite of one thing, there is another thing, we could use yet to join these sentences. The weather was cold, yet bright and sunny. So yet is used to show the contrast or despite something. Next, we'll look at this particular pair. He didn't work hard, he failed the exam. So if you look closely at both the sentences, you will see that the first clause is the reason and the second clause is the result of this reason. So what is the reason? He didn't work hard. What is the result? He failed the exam. So when we have this kind of relationship between both the sentences, we could join this kind of sentences using so. He did not work hard, comma, coordinating conjunction, so he failed the exam. So cause and effect relationships. Sentences could be joined by using coordinating conjunction. So thank you so much. That's all for now.